The Redmi Note 11T 5G is available in three variants: a 6GB variant with 64GB for 16,999, a 6GB variant with 128GB for 17,999, and an 8GB variant with 128GB for 20,000 or 19,999 to be precise. It is also available in three colors. We've got the aquamarine blue over here, but it's also available in a matte black, which is my preferred color, and a white color, which is slightly pearly and glossy. As far as the build quality is concerned, the frame of the phone is primarily made out of plastic. On the front, there is Gorilla Glass 3, but you do also get a screen protector that is pre-installed from the factory. And the back also has a texture on the aquamarine blue, and I'm assuming on the matte black as well. This texture is easily scratched off, so I would recommend that you keep the phone in a case, and a case is included inside the box. This is a clear case. You do lose some of the feel of the phone, but you do get some additional basic protection for your device, which is highly recommended. The phone also has an IP53 rating, which means that it is splash resistant and protected from dust ingress. This is also a good feature to have on the device. I would recommend that you keep your phone away from water as much as you can, so that it lasts as long as it can as well. Let's talk about the display. You have a 2400 by 1080p resolution, which means that you do have a full HD plus display. This display has a 90Hz refresh rate and a 240Hz of touch sampling, which means that a touch response on this display is pretty impressive. And through our test, we found the same to be true as well. You can switch between 60Hz and 90Hz on the display refresh rate, and you can put it down to 60Hz to get better battery life. But I recommend keeping it on 90Hz to get that smooth, buttery feeling with the display. More importantly, this is also an adaptive refresh rate, so depending on the content that is playing on your screen, it will dumb down or reduce the refresh rate of the display to match what is closest available to the content that you are watching. The display also has good viewing angles, and color reproduction is also on point. This is a good display overall for the device, and we didn't have any real complaints with the display. As far as performance is concerned, running everything on the inside is a MediaTek Dimensity 810 chipset, which does have an octa-core CPU and the Mali G57 GPU. This is good for performance, and benchmark results do reflect that. And as far as gaming is concerned, we found that the phone is pretty adequate as far as performance during games is concerned. We are able to play most games with high graphics and high refresh rate options selected, and this leads to a good gaming experience from the device, and most people who want to buy this phone for gaming will not be disappointed. What's also good for gaming is the inclusion of a dedicated headphone jack, which is a rarity nowadays, and this can come in handy if you are playing games and have your headphones connected and need to charge your phone at the same time. You do not need any dongles or additional adapters to do that because of the dedicated headphone jack. This is also one of the few rare phones that still continues to get the infrared blaster, which we think is a handy feature to have. This allows you to control things like televisions, air conditioners, or anything else that uses an infrared remote in your house using the inbuilt Mi Remote app. Speaking of apps, the phone is running on MIUI 12.5, which is based on Android 11. Now, this is a much improved version of MIUI, but you still get a lot of preloaded applications, some ads, and things that you still cannot delete, like the Get Apps application or the Cleaner application. We would like Xiaomi to give us more control over the user interface and allow us to remove apps that we are not interested in, and get rid of ads so that they can stop subsidizing the phones and people can get a cleaner Android experience. Overall, the UI is pretty fast and responsive, paired with the 90Hz of refresh that gives you a good, smooth, buttery feeling when you're navigating through the menus. One thing you'll thoroughly enjoy from the device is the haptic motor. Now, this is a new linear axis vibration motor. This is really useful and feels really nice when you're typing on the device, and certain menus and actions feel really good while typing on the screen. The phone also has a RAM booster feature that can come in handy during day-to-day operations. It gives you additional 11GB of RAM by taking some of the space from your storage and converting it into temporary RAM. Now, this is not as fast as your dedicated RAM, but it does give you some additional RAM storage that improves overall performance, and for tasks that don't need quick access RAM, this can come in handy, and for keeping things in the background, this RAM can also be really useful. So for multitasking, this phone does win those additional points as far as performance goes. This phone does have 5G. It is in the name, in fact, 11T 5G, but we are not sure when 5G rollout will happen, but whenever it does, this phone will work on 5G, and that is what people buying this today should sort of keep into consideration. For battery, you do get a 5000 milliamp hour battery, and 33 watt fast charging is supported. A 33 watt fast charger is included inside the box, which is handy. And 5000 milliamps of battery is a lot, which is why I was mentioning earlier that keep your phone's display at 90 Hertz, because you don't really need to save the battery. You will get an average day and a half worth of use if you're a heavy user from the device. About 7 hours of screen on time is what we found from the device, and that is something that you should look forward to as well. But again, depending on your usage and what kind of applications or content you're consuming, this number may vary heavily. Now finally, let's talk about the cameras. You look at the back of the phone and you'll see that, oh, looks like there are 5 cameras on the back of the phone, but that is an absolute lie, because you're being duped into believing that this phone has a lot more cameras than it does, and that is a design feature. This phone has only 2 cameras on the back, which is actually something that I prefer to too many cameras. So you have a 50 megapixel AI camera, which is of course super sampling an image and giving you a 50 megapixel result. And then you also have an 8 megapixel ultra wide camera that does have an f2.2 aperture. The 50 megapixel camera does have an AI mode as well, so it'll automatically detect what you're clicking a picture of and give you the best optimal settings for that. We tried it on a few occasions and the overall image result was pretty acceptable. In certain cases, it did miss on the color heavily. For example, we clicked a picture of these green vines and they turned out to be almost purple gray looking on the final image on the phone, versus in real life, they're absolutely green. For other usages, we found that the phone's camera is pretty satisfactory, and you get a pretty good overall camera result from the phone. The video capabilities are limited to a 1080p 60, and you can also reduce it to a 1080p 30 if that's something that you're looking for. And you can also go down to 720p as that is an option. If you're planning on capturing video on this and moving at the same time, that is not a good idea. The image stabilization is non-existent. So if you have shaky hands like everyone here at iGyaan Studio, then you will get this kind of a result that you're seeing on your screen right now. The front camera is a 16 megapixel camera, and it is a pretty good camera for selfies. You can also remove the background and make it blurred out, so that portrait shot is available on this phone. So for a lot of people clicking selfies, you do have all the Xiaomi camera capabilities on this, and you can play around with some of the effects and features. Some of the samples on the screen right now should show you the camera's performance, and we were pretty impressed with the front camera. Again, looking at the price range of the phone, the cameras are a good mix. I don't like the fact that they used a fake camera design on the back of the phone to make it feel like you do have more cameras than you really do. But it is appreciated that they're only using the 2 cameras. In the camera mode, you also do have a ultra wide option which goes to 0.6x, and then you do have a 2x option which basically cuts into the 50 megapixel shot, and we did click some pictures to show you the difference between the zoom ranges. Overall, the Redmi Note 11T 5G is a pretty impressive device. Even though it's available in other markets with different names, it is launched in India under the Redmi brand and with the 11T 5G moniker, which shouldn't bother you, because if looking at the specifications, which also haven't changed a lot, you think that this is a device that is worth the amount of money you're going to be spending, then it sort of justifies it. Overall, this is a pretty good package. You do only have a few downsides, which is the plastic body, the easily scratchable back panel, and one thing we forgot to mention is the hybrid SIM slot. So if you do want dedicated SIM slots and a dedicated micro SD card slot, this phone, ladies and gentlemen, does not have that. Well, that's our video. If you liked it, don't forget to smash the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not already a part of Team iGyaan. This has been Bharat. I'll see you guys in the next one.